Hey Punch citizens, this is Damien, your trainer, once again, coming to you from Punch Boxing for Fitness, showing you how to wrap hands today. What we have here are 180-inch Mexican-style hand wraps with elastic in it. Basically, they are 2 inches wide. I have a model here. Let me see your hand. What we're going to do is basically wrap her hands for nice security. Basically, she's going to have her arm straight. Top of the hand straight, wrist, and arm is going to be straight. Don't have it down, don't have it up. Always keep the fingers wide. So basically you want the seam down on the skin, unless it says this side down like some hand wraps do nowadays. So what we're going to do is put it straight through the thumb and come across the wrist 3 times. Once above the wrist and on the wrist, twice on the wrist and below the wrist, and a 3rd time below the wrist and along the bottom of the palm. So now what we're going to do from here is basically come across the thumb, and you're always going to keep tension, not too much tension and not too much slack. Always keep it nice and snug enough where you could at least get a little pinch. That's how you know you're not going to cut circulation off. They always have to keep their hand wide. So I went 3 times around the wrist, above, on, and below the wrist, which is the beginning of the palm. So then I came around and went around the thumb. So now I'm going to come back around the top of the palm and go around the top of the wrist 1 time. Now I'm coming under the wrist and across the top of the palm and under the palm of the hand, and come through the palm and the top of the hand and come back to the middle of the wrist this time. Now I'm going to come back under the palm, keep the fingers wide, don't let them close their hand, or if you're doing it yourself, don't close your hand. And then I'm going to come across the knuckles twice. Right here is important to keep the fingers wide, so when you get a grip, it feels nice and snug and tight. And that's the 2nd time I go around the knuckles. So come back around, and now I'm going to go over the top of the hand. Always make sure they tend to keep their hand straight. You come back to the top of the wrist, wrap it once, wrap it twice. The 2nd time is on the wrist and below it. And now I'm coming under, again, that's the full rotation of the 2nd wrap, and then come through the pinky. Make sure their fingers are still wide. Through the pinky and the ring finger. Don't let it be twisted. Use the full 2 inches. Make sure there's some tension there, and go through the fingers once. Not too tight, not too loose. Nice and snug. Come around the fingers again, the middle finger and the ring finger. Now come back around to the top of the palm. Make sure there's no folds or anything going on. Undo the folds, keep their fingers wide, make sure their arm is straight, and come back around 1 time around that wrist and back through the index finger and the middle finger. Now we've covered the fingers, we've covered the knuckles, we've secured the wrist and the thumb. Now we're going to come back around the wrist 1 time, up through the bottom of the palm, over the top of the hand, and default back to the top of the wrist again. Undo the Velcro, get a little snug, and here you have it. Nice, tight hand wraps. Make a fist. Zoom out. Nice, tight fist. And there should be little movement in the wrist. That's what you're looking for. Cover the wrist, the knuckles, the palm, and around the thumb. And there you have it. Punch Boxing for Fitness, that's how we wrap hands here. Enjoy, and I'll see you soon.